Now at 6, a group of teenagers wanted for a brutal attack on a man in the middle of a Gresham street.
I don't understand how anybody could do something like that.
Plus, a run on high-capacity magazines in Washington gun shops.
A swell of people and a swell of commerce. We weren't even scheduled to be open yesterday.
How the banned devices became legal again for a couple of hours. And
I bought a lottery ticket. I told my wife, I think we're going to win this time.
A Portland store owner doesn't win the Powerball, but still scores a nice payday. How they plan to spend their cut of Oregon's lottery luck. A brutal attack in Gresham landed a man in the hospital, and police say a group of teens are responsible. Thanks for joining us. I'm Tim Gordon in for David tonight. It happened Sunday evening in downtown Gresham. That's where Blair Best joins us now. Blair, police are still looking for the suspects in this attack.
Tim, the attack happened here off Northeast 2nd and Roberts Avenue, right outside a Discount Plus and a bar. And nearby businesses caught it all on camera. But since it involves young people, police aren't saying much. But here's what we know so far. This section of downtown Gresham is everything to Jen Braun, who works at this resale clothing store.
But I love this community. This is my heart and soul. I've been here for over 18 years on this strip.
She's watched the city change in recent years.
It's the Wild West sometimes.
Just one example happened Sunday night about a block away on Northeast 2nd Avenue. Surveillance video shows what appears to be a teenager hitting a man in the head with a skateboard.
I don't understand how anybody could do something like that. It just kills me.
Gresham police later released this photo of the suspect. They tell us around 5:30 Sunday night, a group of young people were harassing 58-year-old Terry Poulter. Before police got there, Poulter had been knocked unconscious. He was then taken to the hospital. It's unclear what led up to the attack.
I know kids can be kids, but that's pretty bad when you're doing that type of stuff. I was pretty shocked when you showed me the video.
Gresham police are still searching for the suspect and say the situation is, quote, deeply troubling. Local businesses agree.
Well, I think that's horrible what's going on, and I think people need to be held accountable for their actions.
I just want to know what's wrong with these kids. Why did they do this?
And police are still trying to figure that out, who did it and why. They tell us they've also notified the local school district because it may involve students, but they haven't identified who those students could be. And there's also talks around town that the victim could be homeless, so we asked police about that, but they said they don't have any update right now as to how the victim is doing. And they say if anyone has any information to contact Gresham Police. Tim?
All right, Blair, we know you'll stay on it. Thank you. Well, to your headlines now. A man is dead after he was hit by a car on Southeast McLaughlin Boulevard in Milwaukee. It happened around 1:40 this afternoon at the intersection with 22nd Avenue. The man died shortly after police arrived. The road was closed for more than 2 hours, but reopened around 4 this afternoon. Police say the driver is cooperating with investigators. A Vancouver man is behind bars in Clark County, accused in a series of drive-by shootings overnight. The shootings damaged at least 2 churches and 2 vehicles. Around 1:30, people in the area of the Seventh-day Adventist Church on Northeast St. John's Road reported hearing gunshots. A short time later, the sheriff got reports of gunshots near a church north of Walnut Grove area and Columbia River High School as well. Deputies spotted an SUV driving recklessly, and the driver took off on them. They chased the vehicle down I-5, stopping it with spike strips. They say the driver, 23-year-old Alexei Saturin, was wearing body armor and had several 9mm magazines on him. Deputies also found a handgun and bullets in the front seat. Saturin was arrested and now faces a number of charges. Portland police have identified the man who was killed in a shooting in the Hazelwood neighborhood last week. Last Monday, 35-year-old Mario Camel Harris of Portland and another person were shot in the parking lot of the Venue Gentlemen's Club at Southeast 99th and Stark. Camel Harris died at the scene. The other victim went to the hospital in critical condition. No one's been arrested. Well, tuition is going up again at Oregon State University. The hikes just approved by the Board of Trustees include a nearly 5% increase for returning undergrad and e-campus students. Tuition for graduate students who are not Oregon residents will go up more than 5%. And those in professional grad programs like veterinary medicine and pharmacy will also see their tuition go up between 3 and 7%. Student fees for on-campus health, counseling, and psychological services and recreational facilities are also going up. The school will try to offset some of the costs by increasing the amount of university-funded student financial aid from $10 million to more than $125 million. Here's Matt.
Thanks so much, Tim. It has been a pretty good afternoon. The clouds continue to clear. Look at out of the Reserve Golf Course right now. Nearly a completely clear sky. Some clouds hugging the coast range. However, in spite of the fact that we're in the 60s, well, 59 right now, if you have a tee time early tomorrow morning, make sure you check before you go out to the course, because there may be frost delays on some of the area golf courses tomorrow morning. Frost advisory up for the Coast Range, much of Clark County, and out in the central Columbia River Gorge and the upper Hood River Valley there, and then up into southwest Washington. Vancouver, Portland, not under the frost advisory. We should stay just warm enough to avoid that. But once you get away from the cities and the urban areas, probably get some frost out there. So clearing overnight tonight. We'll have frost in the morning, but warm days ahead, even warmer than today. And today we made the mid-60s, which is great. Now, here's a look at the Oregon coast right now. It's absolutely beautiful at Cannon Beach. So it'll be a great sunset. But coming up, we'll talk about this. Thousands, maybe even millions of Velella enveloping the beaches of Manzanita on the coast. Those things are nasty and they get stinky. More on that in a little bit. Tim, back to you.
All right, Matt, we'll look forward to that. A legal fight over gun regulation in Washington is moving to a higher court. Washington's ban on high-capacity magazines was dropped and then quickly reinstated yesterday following a flurry of court rulings. In that time, there was a short window, though, when stores could sell the magazines. Evan Watson joins us now in the newsroom. And Evan, some people really took advantage of that.
Yeah, Tim, the owner of a gun store in Kelso is challenging Washington's ban on the sale, manufacture, and distribution of high-capacity magazines. He had about an hour and a half yesterday when he could sell again, and boy, he took that chance, selling hundreds of magazines.
It was magazine day for sure. I had no idea that people would be that excited about getting that interlude of freedom back.
Wally Wentz owns Gators Custom Guns in Kelso. He's challenging Washington's ban on the sale of high-capacity magazines in court. When a Cowlitz County judge on Monday ruled the state law is unconstitutional, Wentz opened the store on an off day, put out a blast on Facebook, and sold as many magazines as he could to hundreds of customers in just under 2 hours.
How many can I have? Is there a limit? I said, what's the limit on your gold card?
Washington's ban on the sale, manufacture, import, and distribution of high-capacity magazines is back in place now. Attorney General Bob Ferguson issued an emergency stay, which the state Supreme Court approved. Ferguson said the law saves lives, is constitutional, and is essential to addressing mass shootings. Wentz always expected an appeal.
It's going to be a tough argument for them to throw this out. And if they do, it's really going to smell like fish.
The Washington senator who sponsored the magazine ban bill expects an appellate court to find that it is constitutional.
They'll look at this as a public safety issue, which it is, and it does not impair someone's ability to have a gun. It just limits the number of bullets that can be fired at one time.
And Robert Shintrup, whose sister Carmen was killed in the Parkland shooting, says he's frustrated and nervous the law could be stripped back, but he'll keep pushing for more gun regulation.
I feel very truly that if I was to not do anything about Carmen's death, just try to forget that it happened, that her death would be in vain. And by using it as something to catalyze myself and to catalyze others into action, we can have it mean something.
Meanwhile, Wentz is hoping for a legal win so he can put high-capacity magazines back on the shelves. He says he lost 30 to 40% of his business with the ban, and he wouldn't hesitate to appeal the case all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court.
If we do lose in there, we will appeal, just like we knew that state would appeal this week. We get to them folks with black dresses, it's going to be a dogfight.
A hearing with the commissioner of the Washington Supreme Court is set for April 17th. That will determine if the emergency stay remains in place. The Attorney General's office will argue the case should go directly to the Supreme Court. That's up to the court to decide.
Evan, thanks a lot. We'll keep following that one for sure. Well, a North Idaho teen is facing federal terrorism charges. His arrest came a day before he allegedly plotted to carry out an attack on local churches in the name of the Islamic terror group ISIS. 18-year-old Alexander Mercurio of Coeur d'Alene was arrested Saturday after a 2-year FBI investigation. According to court documents, Mercurio spoke with confidential informants several times, detailing plans to attack churches near his home on April 7th, using a variety of weapons, going from one church to the next until he was killed. Mercurio also allegedly tried to build an explosive vest to wear during the attacks. Prosecutors say the 18-year-old downloaded ISIS materials to a school-issued laptop, pledged allegiance to ISIS, and planned to send the group money. If he's convicted, he faces up to 20 years in prison. A Southwest Washington man has pleaded guilty for his role in the January 6th Capitol riot. Benjamin Silva of Yacolt will be sentenced in September for a felony charge of civil disorder. Video footage showed the 36-year-old with a crowd of rioters confronting police on January 6, 2021. Prosecutors claim Silva joined others in pushing against a police line near an entrance on the lower west terrace of the Capitol building, also known as the Tunnel. Some of the most violent attacks against police occurred at the tunnel. Court documents say even when rioters were leaving the area, Silva fought to stay and pressed forward against the police. Well, coming up tonight on The Story, Portland Public Schools is considering a controversial proposal to allow schools to add junior ROTC programs. Those are military programs which the Army says teach students values of citizenship and service to the country. While some say JROTC programs give students direction, others say the programs push kids toward careers in the military and have no business in schools.
It gives kids like that something to strive for.
JROTC claims not to be about recruitment, but it's absolutely about recruitment.
There are also questions about how the district would support these programs and how they'd be funded. Thomas Schultz will have more on that coming up at 6:30 on The Story.